The first time it was my very good friend Jurgrand that contacted Mr. Picard. He only could experience this festival 1 year because the second year he died. He was a very special friend of mine and he had wonderful ideas. He, together with Mr. Picardi, they started this Progetto, which is a very special one, also because it's not a star-dominated festival, but it is much more for the people and very social in a way. Mr. Picardi is socialist also, and so we did it in the fact so that we are all those very famous people and those that are starting, we all receive the same amount of money for every performance, which is not much, and that's how, but the same for everybody, and I think that's a very good thing. That gives yeah. And okay, until now we were always almost keeping a group that started the festival more or less, second year, third year, yes. So coming every year. So this, and having different repertoire, of course. But this was also very interesting because we meet here once a year and it is, sometimes we meet more, of course. But this is also very special. I'm sentimentally very, how you say, attached to this festival. That's one thing.
You know, we both have this, I don't know if it's a problem or tendency to, when we meet, to speak a lot. We spend hours and hours talking about all kind of things, exchanging latest gossips, jokes and whatever. However, when we rehearse, we never speak. It's really not necessary because we have very similar frequency or the connection, which makes it very natural. And anyway, the rehearsals, of course we do rehearse, but then we both know that in the concert things happens that you can't rehearse, and in any case we both can feel very comfortable knowing that no matter what you feel at the moment, the other one will not just follow you but anticipate this. And so it's very exciting always. It's never the same, it's never boring for sure, and it's really very inspiring. So to play with her, it's just like a dream come true.
It was like a miracle when we first arrived here in Lugano in 2002, I think the first year. We had a lot of things to play with her, like Mendelssohn Trio and some other stuff, and it was like I couldn't really believe until the time it happened, you know, until we went on stage, and by chance it was all recorded, so we have also some testimony of it for when my kid will be older and I can tell him, you know, I did it. Anyway, no, but the wonderful thing was Martha has this capacity of welcome. She's a welcoming person, and we were young with my brother and with some others, but she didn't take care of us differently because we were young. We were just equal in music. I mean, if I would say equal, of course we were not equal at all, but she treated us as if we were any other musician. And this is something which I will never forget, because it gave us and gave me the capacity of learning so much, capacity of being better. And she has this amazing way of letting. Of course, she's what she is. She's a monster in a good way. Like, she's a piano monster, a musical monster. But she's a really human person. And when you sit next to her and she tells you, "What do you think here? What should we do?" And when you're 25, you just like, you think, "What?" You know, like. But she's really like this. It's not a posture. It's really her personality. So I would say, when I look back these 15 years, I would say it was amazing years of learning, of discovering new people, discovering new repertoire. And thanks to Martha, because a lot of young people could really take over from Lugano. most important thing was help to young people. It was and also a discovery of new pianists that she brought here. I mean, we didn't count the number of pianists, but it was really impressive the last 15 years. Also the fact that everything was recorded, and not only the fact that of course we have a fantastic collection of souvenirs now, of CDs, but also because the fact that we recorded every day before the concert, even if it was never published, made us progress, because when you record something you practice differently, you learn it better. So there are a lot of pieces which were recorded and live on the radio, but which will never be recorded, never be released. But thanks for these situations, we learned it, and all the pieces I've played here are absolutely in my soul and in my body. I chose this Busoni concerto for one reason. First, I discovered it quite a long time ago in Berlin, and I bought the music in '98, so it's a long time. It was always in my bibliothèque, and I decided to play it and to put it in my repertoire when I decided to do an homage to Adolphe Busch. Adolphe Busch played this concerto all his life. He was friend with Busoni, and so I decided to play it in honor of course Busoni, and also to Adolphe Busch. We are not so many violinists to play it. I know Frank-Peter Zimmermann has recorded it, but we are not so many, and I think it's justice to play this piece. I will play one of the premiere in Japan next year, and I think it's quite nice to play this piece, which is not a new piece, but to play in Vienna, in Paris, here, and having the feeling to play for the first time, because nobody knows it. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic mix of Italian, Germany, as always with Busoni, with this folklore inside, and very virtuoso, but also very, very deep, very focused. I love this piece. For me, I'm 40 and it's 15 years of my life, so it's a lot of time. Yeah, some nights where we spoke with her until very late in the morning, but this is not really original when you know her, it happens all the time. As you can see, the surrounding is just a dream here, so of course a lot of very peaceful souvenir of just being, arriving here and feeling, wow, finally, just some, even if it's 3-4 days, taking the sun and the air and the nice feeling which is here in Lugano. And to be more precise, perhaps some great moments, of course, playing with her. I remember a Bartok sonata which we played together with Martha, and I told her yesterday actually that I played it in my life 2 times, this sonata, 2 times with her. And since I can't play it, because, and so she laughed and she said, why? I said, guess, because it was amazing, and I don't even understand how I could play this sonata because it was not part of my repertoire, and she just completely carried me. So, and also a lot of pieces we played together with other musicians, and no, it has been 15 years of great bonheur, comme on dit en français.
The most important is Martha Argerich, of course, herself. And but altogether the combination of course beautiful place, Lugano, and general kind of family type atmosphere. It's rather intimate, and when altogether, you see, I'm the type of person, generally speaking, who doesn't have this butterfly mentality, jumping from flower to flower. I believe in the depth in any relationship, being private relationship, being professional relationship with your instrument, your manager, your record company, or whatever. So if I like something, I never look for something better. So I like to come back to the same places, like I go to Verbier Festival since the very beginning every year, the same to Lugano. And this creates certain familiarity. It's like coming back home, so to say. And it's not just going to play another concert. It's something else. And of course, again, usually I come to these festivals with my family, which makes it even more special. And I play with my children, with my older children. So that's, for me, it's really like family affair in more sense than one. And when we discussed the repertoire for this year, I try to remember what didn't I play yet, which is not too long, because as well with many soloists in the same concert it can't be too long of a piece. And I remember this beautiful Lalo concerto, which I used to play not that often and very long time ago, actually. I didn't play it for more than 30 years. I always wanted to record it, somehow it didn't happen. And I thought, oh, why not Lalo? And I suggested, everybody agreed. So I'm actually looking forward very much, because for me it's like a premiere in a way. I had to learn it again. I was incredibly busy. I just came back from the United States, from California, and a long tour. So I didn't have that much time, but I'm very excited. It's a concerto which, for some reason lately, is not played that often. And that's why not too many people know it and enjoy it. So I hope very much that the audience in Lugano, and not only in Lugano, since nowadays it's possible to hear it on the internet and in many different ways, I hope people will enjoy it as much as I enjoy playing it. it's been 40 years, almost 41 years since we met. So we both got younger, in a way. But I must say that the first impression was so overwhelming. Then, in a way, it never changed. Every time I have chance to play with her or to hear her playing or to spend time with her, it's just quite unbelievable how she's really rather unique in so many different ways. When people ask me about Martha Argerich, I say sometimes that, for me, Martha Argerich is like life itself. It's not easy. It can be sometimes unpredictable. It can be even, sometimes I would dare to say, something like pain in the neck or whatever, but it's the most beautiful thing there is, life. And so is Martha Argerich. So I consider myself extremely lucky and privileged for many different reasons, but one of them certainly is the fact that I have such a long-lasting friendship and professional relationship with one of the greatest musicians that I ever had a chance to meet.
It's difficult to describe the feeling of playing with Martha because it's like a wave. But it's not a wave which would destroy you, of course not. It's a wave which carries you and which brings you to some places or some... It's an adventure. So it brings you to places or to locations that you would have never think you would go. And with her we always have this sixth sense. It's like there is a special antenna which just works with Martha, and it's music, but it's also around. So whatever you are, whatever you spoke with her the day before, whatever you feel with her is also completely part of what she brings you in music.
è stato molto emozionante perché come il progetto arriva così a un punto un po' diverso, speriamo che continuare questo progetto, ma di un'altra maniera forse dovrà essere. Ma c'è un sentimento così un po' di, non so, adesso non tanto, ma un po' malinconico, un po' perché tutti vogliamo che continui. Ma sembra un po' difficile. Ma questa edizione è stata così bella che anche potrebbe essere un finale en beauté, anche potrebbe essere perché è stato molto bello.